Hello spooky souls, and welcome back to These Enchanted Pages. I hope you've been enjoying the videos that I've been bringing out so far, and today's video is no exception. We are going to be diving into the flames. We're going to be diving into the wings, the fangs, the fire. Can you guess what the video is all about? The title gives it away, doesn't it? But yeah, that's right. We are talking all things dragons. And dragon books are one of my most favourite genre to read about, alongside pirate books. So we may well do a pirate themed book haul, my favourites going along in the future. But today's video is all about dragons. So grab yourself a cup of something hot to drink. I've currently got a lovely cup of hot coffee with cream, my favourite, and we're going to dive into this rather large stack of dragon books. Now, some of these suggestions are slightly older books, which I like to kind of keep things fresh for you. If you haven't read them, then that's great. And we've got a couple of new releases in here as well. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Most of these ones I haven't read actually yet, so if you're in for looking for more dragon books, then I hope something on this list will spark your interest. So starting off strong, we are going in with Kingdom of Shadows and Wings by Nina Frost. I've heard really good things about this book, and it is basically a flight school. She gets having to, learn how to ride, how to fly, and I think this is about a girl called Lark, that's it. She's lived in a castle with an overprotective mother. She has her sister go missing, and basically she has to take her sister's place in this flying academy, but the only problem is she doesn't know how to fly and she hates flying. She's never been anywhere near a dragon before, so she's quickly got to step up to the game and be enrolled. She's got to go into these training grounds called Flight Haven and basically survive, but then something happens and she uncovers some kind of truth. And she also tries to investigate what actually ended up happening to her sister. So there's a little bit of a plot already, in the wings, literally in the wings, before she starts going to the academy. So this sounds really good. I'm not sure whether it's spicy or not. It does say that there's a forbidden romance. And it does say if you're fans of Fourth Wing and Zodiac Academy, it's along those lines. So Kingdom of Shadows and Wings. Not read this one, and this one is a Amazon self-published, which I love to support. So grab one of these copies if you want. I'm sure it's also on Audible as well, or at least Kindle. So that's book number 1. I'm going to go through these quite quickly because there is quite a few in this list. I'm not going to lie. Right, Fear the Flames is another popular favourite on BookTok and YouTube, booktube. Olivia Rose Darling. I did read the first chapter of this actually, because when I first bought a few of these, I wanted to just reacquaint myself with the reason of why I bought them, because sometimes I go through a list of books and I buy the ones that jump out at me, and when I get them I just read the first chapter just to see whether it's something that I actually want to read or whether I'm going to return it. That's just my little thing, because sometimes if the first chapter is terrible, I don't even want to read the book, so why would I keep it? So I do that as a little bit of a filtering system. So a little tip: read the first chapter, try not to break the book or damage the book in any way. And especially with Amazon, you can send it right back. Okay, so this is a daughter who's a princess to a kingdom, has these dragon's eggs that are part of the kingdom, and then something happens and they get taken away from her, and she basically gets abandoned and betrayed by those she holds dear. I think it's her father or something. She basically gets separated from the dragons, and she, as far as she knows, she thinks they're dead, they're gone. And years later, she finds out that they're not dead and that they're a little bit older. And she basically goes on a rampage to find them, you know, rebond with them, and then I think she basically goes on a rampage to seek vengeance for the fact that she was taken away from her dragons. So that's essentially the storyline of that. Everyone says it's really good, so Fear the Flames. Let's give it a whirl at some point. This one, The Ninth Reign from Jen Williams. This one apparently is really high stakes, epic fantasy, really well written. I've heard nothing but good things about this. It's a little bit older, I think it's about 5 years old. Lots of people that have read it in the booktube world said it's fantastic. She has written another series called the Copper Cat series, which is more about sort of heists along the line of the Grishaverse, Six of Crows style. This one isn't like that. This is more of a found family. There's quite a few bizarre characters in here. Oh, here we go. Right, so it's about an explorer, and then she falls into a friendship with a fugitive witch, and she also hires a thief to steal back an artifact that was taken from her years ago. So it gives me vibes of Lost Family, a future quest, and people from lots of different backgrounds all getting embroiled in this sort of dragon fantasy. I'm not sure whether they ride the dragon or whether the dragon is part of their character family, but yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. So yeah, Ninth Reign, and it's part of a trilogy. So this is book 1 of 3. Second one that's slightly older is Seraphina by Rachel Hartman. I think she's in a college learning music, and she's drawn into a murder investigation with someone else in her town, and she has some kind of magical gift connected with her music abilities, but so far up until now she's kind of kept it under wraps. No one knows her secret, and maybe her own abilities are a little bit like hidden from herself. Very similar to DM in Spark of the Everflame. She had magical powers, but she didn't know it. Her mother had been suppressing them her whole life by giving her this potion. So this sounds very similar to that. It's quite dark academia, gothic kind of vibes, in which she's obviously got some kind of magical power. She has some affinity with music. I can't remember whether actually she can command dragons through her music. There might be some kind of element with that going through the story. And she's also solving a murder. So yeah, it sounds like it's a great story. Nothing but good things again from this writer, and Seraphina is quite a well-known story with dragons being very good, similar to Ninth Reign. So either of those kind of take your fancy, then put them on your wish list or your TBR, and see how you get on with them. So this one will be no surprise, When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This one is more of a newer release. Lots of people say they absolutely loved it. It's very big world building, very amazing magical system. I just love anything with dragons. I will give any dragon book a go. So I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into these books. And I kind of dip in and out of dragon books. It doesn't necessarily mean what season you have to read them in. Sometimes they're more set in a certain time. I mean, this one's giving me a little bit of like frosty vibes, but whether or not it's set in the winter, I don't know. She's an assassin on the run. He's the dragon rider who'll stop at nothing to save her. Together they'll burn it all down. There's lots of secrets. They've got to go on a quest and find out what's happening with their world, and it involves a lot of dragons. Okay, another one by Rachel Hartman. I thought this was the sequel to Seraphina, but it's not. Apparently it's a standalone. It's Tess of the Road, and it's about a woman in a medieval kingdom, doesn't toe the line. I'm just reading the back here. She speaks out of turn, has wild ideas, and can't keep away from trouble. She disgraces herself, gets put into a nunnery because she has no other course of action. Her family put her away because she is not towing the line and she does not conform to the world that she's in. What she ends up doing though is running away. So on her journey to the nunnery, she cuts her hair, she puts on boots, wears men's clothing, and she doesn't know what she's going to do next, but she knows that she's not going to settle for what her family are trying to do to her. She is still a rebel to the last, and she basically gets involved with a dragon. It doesn't say any more than that. Sounds good to me. It's giving me like Anastasia, kind of the cartoon Anastasia vibes, you know, singing over the hill with the snow, and doesn't know what's going to happen yet, but she's ready for it. Okay, the next one, I've heard nothing but good things on Blades and Wings by Eliza Rain. This one is very similar to Court of Silver Flames, with the Valkyrie sort of testing. It's about a woman who basically wants to earn her wings, go to an academy, you know, be the same as the men, fight, learn the skills that she needs to survive, and be a warrior, badass basically. She gets involved with a rider or a trainer, I think. So this is more of a like a steamy romance set in the scene of the Dragon Rider Academy. So everyone says it's really good. It's also Amazon self-published, so we love that. So Eliza Rain, I've got a few of her books, and I'm looking forward to starting these very soon. Empire of Flame and Thorns by Marion Blackwood. Marion Blackwood, I've heard again, she's a really good writer, self-published through Amazon, yeah. Trapped in the Sealy Court by a forest of thorns, Selena Hale lives at the mercy of the dragon shifters. Her only chance to gain her freedom is by entering the atonement trials. So deadly competition, meets another kind of fey warrior or something. She's got to win. Otherwise, he's going to kill her because they're rivals. Yeah, she's basically got to try and use her own wits, not get distracted, and not get killed by this other opponent. Yeah, sounds good. Now, this one is one that's been on my bookshelves for maybe 2-3 years. This is one of my original collection that I had before I started this whole thing. And it's a little bit intimidating me. It's probably the biggest book I have on my bookshelf. Sometimes if I get into a book and it's big, it doesn't intimidate me, but I've heard that this is quite heavy on the world building. Lots of like long names, lots of territories, countries, and that is the Priory of the Orange Tree. And Samantha Shannon, I've heard nothing but good things about her. I've actually just bought her Bone Season. The Bone Season, there we go. The Bone Season, I got that secondhand from a bookshop the other day. By the way, if you want a video on how I get secondhand books, I can do that, because a lot of these new books that I've bought recently, I didn't pay full price for, and that's a huge tip. You know, when buying books, it can be very expensive very quickly, but not if you do my little tips and tricks. So I will make a video all about that if you want to comment, I don't know, book sale or book bargains down below. So anyway, getting back to this one I haven't picked up because I feel like it will rip me apart, not only with emotions, but it will just delve me in so deep, and I'm not ready to do that at the moment. I've got lots of other things that I'm trying to keep in play, and I may well have to save this for a time where I know I haven't got to balance anything else, because it will consume me. I know it will. Anything which is this big, you have to give it your whole 100% attention. Otherwise, I know that I will get lost in the plot, or I will just not have a very good time. So this one needs to be in a month where I do not have anything else that needs to be read. It has to have my full 110% attention. If you have read it, I'd love to know your thoughts. Was it as good as what people said? Or was it a bit meh? Or did you just struggle with actually getting into it? Because sometimes books do that, and they can sometimes pull me in, and I do get involved in it so much, and other times there's just not enough of a break of simplicity for me to get into the story, and I get too stuck on the words. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is a big, heavy, chunky book. Lots of female main characters that are all apparently really complicated and intertwined with each other, along with the politics of the world. So yeah, this is a big one, but I'm excited to get to it. I just know that I need to set aside some proper time to actually read it and give it my whole attention. Whereas these two are a little bit more light-hearted, and I know I'm going to fly through them. So for instance, The Scars Within, everyone is saying that this one is what Fourth Wing should have been. It's more adult, it's got more of a believable plot, and it's a rip-roaring ride. So this one is one girl, two brothers, a school built on secrets, and a bond that could burn the world down. So I think there's two MMCs in this one, so it's a little bit more spicy in that she kind of gets involved with both of them. Dragon School, she didn't expect to fall for two guys, basically, and they're brothers, so that's a little bit like Damien Salvatore and Stefan Salvatore in The Vampire Diaries. I'm currently watching that. I'm nearly to the end, and I thought it would be weird, but it's not. I actually really love that dynamic, so I'm probably going to eat this one up. So yeah, she's in a dragon school. She's, you know, learning how to be a dragon rider. Two guys, not sure which one takes her fancy, or maybe it's just both and it doesn't actually get chosen in the end. They don't get chosen. And a deadly secret where professors are dying and that there's whispers of something coming in the dark. So yeah, there is definitely a plot, or it seems that there's a plot, but I think it's more on the love triangle rather than plot driven. That's what I'm hearing anyway. And that is by Ang T. Dalton. This is a self-published one on Amazon. Again, I do love to support self-published works. Amazon is an amazing platform for that reason. I know a lot of people hate Amazon, but I do love it because it's so much easier for writers to publish their works and for people to actually get to read stuff that isn't too filtered down, because some books just, they're too filtered, and I love the fact that we can delve into our dark little minds and our fantasies a little bit more with indie published books. Now we're going to end on this one, On Wings of Blood by Briar Brolin, another Fourth Wing-esque type book. And if you watched my previous video, which was my October wrap-up, I did not like Iron Flame. I have DNF'd it, much to, you know, people's dismay. And these two are what I'm hoping Iron Flame should have been. I loved Fourth Wing, don't get me wrong, but it kind of petered out for me and I have DNF'd it. So I'm hoping that these two will reignite my love for Academy dragon riding kind of style books. So I will keep you posted as and when I read these and what my thoughts were. So that is it for the dragon recommendations for this month. I hope that you have been introduced to some new books that you haven't heard of before. If you've read any of these, I'd love to know your thoughts. Which were your favourites? Which did you not enjoy? I liked the mix up of old and new. I'm hoping that we can either read them together or we can do like a readathon over on my Patreon, perhaps with a dragon themed book. And of course, don't forget that this channel is for the dreamers, for the witches and the wanderers, and that these are our enchanted pages. Bye.